so you know, there are still 2 seats in the front. Welcome to come to the front. Do you want to go to the front, Michaela? Okay. Thanks everybody for coming to my goodbye talk. Yeah, and as all of you knew, I'm a very introverted, and for most of you, I probably haven't talked with a lot. And I want to know, like, when you saw my message about leaving, what was your first impression? A bit sad. Thank you. Yeah, maybe a bit confused also. I know somebody here resonate with me. Resonate with me. Yeah, but just uh, just so you know that this speech is not about saying goodbye to you guys, and it's more about connecting to you guys. And I believe, hopefully, this connection will extend to the next few years. And I'll explain why, but before I explain everything, I just give you a little background of me. Thank you, thank you. This is where I come from, my high school. It's called Moonshot Academy, founded by a high school student, and I was the third cohort. My high school is similar with Minerva in many ways. We have project-based learning, we have personal coaches, but most importantly, we've been to 5 different campuses in my 3-year college, high school life. And it's not like Minerva that we can choose the places we go to. As an unconventional school in China, we have to follow the country's volatile policies, and we were forced to move. And we nearly died 4 times. Yeah, and this is a exhibition design I did just to tell the story of my high school. And you see the street nameplates that represents the places we've been to, and the photos of memories. In speak of design, in my high school, we found this design agency called MDL, aka Moonshot Design Lab. So as a design lab, we do book designs, poster designs, all sorts of designs for the sake of ourselves, for the school, and also for social institutions. And you must have noticed the little brackets there. It means possibilities. So we not only do designs, we do lecture. We establish China's first high school design curriculum. We built a library full of design books. We're also human labors of our high school's marketing designs. But as designers, we try to, invent the new interpretations of our name. So I don't know what's your first impression by seeing these 3 characters. I thought of McDonald's. And that's why we designed our business card into a Big Mac box, aka Big MDL. When you open it, you see some nuggets, which is actually a pamphlet that introduces us. What else? Make design landscape. That is the end goal of our design agency. So now you know a little bit about where I come from, the little hobby of me, but I want you to forget about everything I just said because they're not really important compared with what I'm going to say next. And so, yeah, I want to invite everybody to take a deep breath. And let's go. So my story begins with my grandma. 2022 January, I spent a month shooting my grandparents' life and wanted to make a documentary. But because of my laziness and all sorts of excuses, I delayed the editing for a very long time. And brief background of my grandma. She loves playing mahjong. So mahjong is a typical Chinese version of poker card game that elderlies love playing. And my grandma was addicted to it. She could play 12 hours a day, all the way until 2 a.m. and came back home. And it's obviously not healthy for elderly. And she experienced her first brain stroke in 2017, and she lost control of her right leg. And so in the documentary, she had to hold a cane to go to every places. And January 2023, she experienced her second brain stroke, which triggered me to complete the documentary. I published it in 2 days. She cried a lot by watching that documentary. And I know she had watched it for like countless of times. May 2023, 3 months after the documentary was published, she experienced her third brain stroke. And she lost control of her whole body. In the worst time, she couldn't even swallow. So they had to like insert a tube from her nose to her stomach just to transfer the nutrition. And it was really tough times. And she finally got out of the hospital, but still couldn't walk or speak well. And she had to go to the restroom at least 3 times during the night. So both her and my grandpa haven't slept well since then. She became very sentimental when she wanted to say, but she couldn't say it. She cried like a baby. And when she's happy, she also cries, but in a more excited way. So I was very grateful that I have shot a documentary of her, simply because she will never speak in the same way like she did in the documentary. And this is her after the hospital. I realized how fragile life is, and recording something so urgent that to me is the only way I can record and preserve the fleeting yet beautiful moments in the memories of these ordinary people. And so I started working very hard. I designed family manuals for Chinese families. I interviewed 6 Chinese Northerners who were born in different regions, recorded the stories and designed books. Yeah, I think Brady is not here. Brady has a copy of this. And this is what's inside the book. We even launched a high school course in Moonshot called Family Memoir. So the final assignment for that course is to let the students interview their grandparents and record the oral stories of their life. And we help them design their stories into books. This is the final product. And these are the inside layouts, some Chinese modern history that is never taught in the classroom. Second pause here. Now you know where I come from, my hobby, my value, and what I've been doing. The next part is going to be actually the last part of this presentation, the project that led me to take a gap year. So I'm from Nanjing, a culturally significant city that is overlooked by many people. And I went to boarding school when I was in 5th grade in other cities. So I lost my connection with my city, and my memories remained when I was in 5th grade. 7 years later, I went back to the city center, and I saw something astonishing. My primary school was torn down. So this is me in front of my disappeared primary school. Couldn't say a word about it. And I also went to many other places I used to go a lot when I was in younger age. And either they disappeared or became something different. So I was curious that if this change is also happening in other people's life. I had an idea. What if I interview people who born in different decades from 20s, 30s, all the way to 70s, and see the changes in their life and how they face those changes. That's what I did in a week. I interviewed these beautiful people, and each of them take me to the places they grew up, they used to live, their schools, their homes. And I found out that all of them have faced so many drastic changes in their lives. If you have any knowledge about Chinese modern history, you know that in every decade there is a significant shift either in ideology or policy, and externalities like the COVID or the tariffs going on right now. But what I found touching is that these people, they develop this resilience. They have faced so many downfalls of their lives, but they move on with bravery and responsibility. And this is something I find beautiful and is unchanged in a changing world. And that is something I wanted to record. And as always, I started making book. I wrote their stories, we wrote their stories, alongside the photos and illustrations. So the photos represents the present, and the illustrations represents the past. And the whole book is trying to bridge the gap between the past and the present, as well as to display the change of time. So unfortunately, the book is not here today. I forgot to bring it. Yeah, but I showed it to many publishers in Nanjing, and they love the designs, they love the idea, but they said these people's stories are separated, and they wanted to make them interesting. And that's how we turn our attention from a nonfiction to a fiction. We wanted to write about, so when this plot develops, the people started to interact with each other, and in the end, they can sit in front of the same table and talk. And we spent a couple of months writing the fiction, but it turned out it's a failure. Just because we cannot write 70-year-old's story from an 18-year-old perspective. It's impossible. So authenticity is really a thing. And so here raises the question, like, how do we connect these people's stories together while remaining the authenticity? And it was back in San Francisco storm, and Alan and I was discussing about this question, and Alan came up with the idea that what if we make a forum and make these people together in front of the table and talk about their life stories and their philosophies in the real life. And that's what we did last summer. We have these people sit together, share their stories, talk about what's unchanged in their life, and discuss about what is happiness. Yeah, I'm gonna show you like some video clips of this documentary. It's still in the process of editing. And I don't know like your first impression about it, but you probably want to ask me how I did this. Did I have money? Did I have like a group of professional cameramen? The fact is that I borrowed money. I borrowed 10 FX3s, Sony. The best cameras we could find in the market. And I gathered my middle school, high school, and college friends to produce this. And it was not easy to manage 20 high school students and college freshmen who had no experience of producing a documentary like this before. And plus, I didn't even pay them a penny. Yeah, so I have to admit that the process was a chaos. But we designed, completed, and implemented the whole process, shooting process, in 5 days with no errors. So every video clips is in my disk. And that is an amazing achievement. And what is more amazing is that it turned out not only a documentary of the 6 Nanjing people, it became a documentary of us, representing the young generations, trying our best to record the oral history of our country's modern past. And yeah, this is a project. It looks nice, but the story doesn't end here. If you have ever produced a film before, you probably know that shooting is easy and editing is a lot harder. I had 100 hours of video clips in my disk, and I had to make it into a 30-minute documentary. And then we came to Taipei, right? It was when the assignments all came, and you know I have this financial burden on myself all the time. So there's like a deadline there waiting for me, and I have to complete. And so eventually my body crashed, and I was sick for 1.5 months back in Taipei. And during that time, I had to stop producing this. And I reflected, and I learned 2 lessons from it. Lesson number 1. I have to choose between these 2. And as a person who hated classes for his whole life, and as a person who had this urgency of recording, to me it's not a hard choice. Sorry, forum. Yeah. Lesson number 2. I have to be financially and physically sustainable. If I don't have enough money for me to run the projects I want to do, then I'll just crash, like both mentally and physically. So these 2 are the primary goals of my gap year. How to achieve these goals? First, financially sustainable. Number 1, I'll continue to be a designer. I'll finish my portfolio of the past 2 years and also build my personal websites just to attract more customers. Number 2, I wanted to become a Nanjing guide. Given the information I know about my city and the people I interviewed, I'm confident enough that I can beat all existing plans. And I want to do customized trip for foreigners. And I am making a claim here that all of you here in this room, and also, of course, other Minervans, are welcome to come to Nanjing. I can provide free guiding, presumably free housing. And yeah, you're welcome. Number 3, I plan to be a traveler. There's a YouTuber called Luke Corns. He travels to different countries, make friends with the locals, and in the end of his video, he complete a dream of the friend that they wanted to accomplish. And this is exactly the thing I want to do. And here's the thing, let's connect back to the beginning. Everybody who come here today in this room, I'm gonna take a big selfie, and every face that shows up in that photo, I can promise you that at least someday in the next 5 years, you'll receive an email from me asking if I can go to your country and if you can be my guide, leading me to the places you grew up and help me fulfill my project. Yeah, I'm serious here, guys. Thank you. Number 4, I want to invest. So, which means I have to learn a lot, continue my learning journey of econ, poli-sci, sociology, coc-sci, and so on. Learning never stops. Yeah. But this one is more of like a long-term thing. I'm not gonna invest in the next year. Okay, number 2, physically sustainable. These are my 3 plans. I've been doing yoga for the past semester, every week, and I was into it, and I want to learn yoga more systematically. And secondly, nutrition, how to eat for me is very important, as well as my daily schedule. Number 3, exercise rehabilitation. Yeah, just so you know, these 3 ways the same as the last 4, so they're important. Okay, I guess this is not the official but personal end of this speech, because I still have something later. But yeah, I want to say that over the past 2 years, it's been a lot. We've been through a lot. And I really appreciate all of you who contributed to the journey of Minerva, every community events, every civic projects, city experiences, 1001s, Minerva talks, and actually, yeah, this is just thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to the journey ahead of us. Thank you. Before you asking me any question or leaving, can we take a selfie together just so the promise can be completed? Yeah.